Hey everyone, welcome back to Gamecasters. In this video, I will be going over the top build for Necromancer in Season 19 of Diablo 3. This is February 18th of 2020, and any updates that happen to this build, I will let you guys know if anything changes between now and then. Um, so starting off for this build, we are looking for the Scythe of the Cycle, which will have damage, intel, attack speed, crit hit damage, and intelligence for the augment. It will also have reduces cooldown of all skills by 10%, maximum essence. That will come from the emerald that will be in the socket on the weapon. I believe the emerald is the green one. The gemstones always confuse me. I don't pay attention enough to them. I just look for the stat and put them in. But yeah, I believe that's an emerald green gem for the socket. For our gauntlets, we'll be looking for stone gauntlets that will have strength, crit hit damage, and crit hit chance on those. As for the augment, you'll be going for intelligence on those as well. This person has not augmented theirs, so that is a potential push that you can make with those if you get them augmented. It will also have a cooldown of all skills by 8%. That is a rerolled stat, so that is definitely something you will be looking for, especially the crit hit damage and the crit hit chance. For our shoulders, we will have strength, vitality, life, and reduced cooldown of all skills by 8%. These are the pauldrons of the Skeleton King. There is nothing else that I'm noticing that has changed about these. They did re-roll for the cooldown, so that is a top skill there that you or top stat. Can't speak today. For our chest piece, we'll be looking for Requiem Seraplate, which will have intel, armor, damage from elite monster attacks. That's not a primary stat that you'll need, but it is there. Damage from ranged attacks, they re-rolled for, not necessarily sure why. So there is that. It also has 3 topaz socketed into this. And for our helmet, we'll have Leoric's Crown with intel, crit hit chance, and intelligence from the augment. Also, the augmenting goes for the last 2 pieces of gear as well, the shoulders and the chest piece. You will need to augment those for intelligence. We'll also have reduced cooldown of all skills on this from a diamond. And then we'll have skeletal mage damage as one of the primary stats for this. For the necklace, it will be Squirt's Necklace, which we've been seeing a lot of this season so far. This will have physical skill damage, crit hit chance, crit hit damage, as well as intelligence from the augment. And then for our socketed legendary gem, we will have Legacy of Dreams. This will give us, while not taking damage, damage dealt is increased by up to 100%, and damage taken is increased by up to 50%. This bonus is doubled for ancient items. Now, I believe this is the effect from the seasonal modifier, which all items that have a bonus for legendary gems, I believe, is doubled for ancient items, so having ancients of those items is very beneficial. For our bracers, we will need Reaper's Wraps. They will have physical skill damage, intel, vitality, crit hit chance, and intelligence for our augment. And then there is the gold pickup radius, but that's not a primary stat. For our offhand, we will have Lost Time. It'll have damage, intel, crit hit chance. This is also not augmented, so you'll need to augment that for intel. This person has reduced cooldown of all skills on this, so yet again another primary stat, as well as maximum essence and skeletal mage damage. For our rings, we'll have Crispin's Sentence and Circle of Naluj Vol. I probably butchered the pronunciation of that word, but as you can see it on screen right there for reference. Crispin's Sentence will have damage, attack speed, crit hit damage, and intel from our augment. It will also be socketed with an Enforcer, legendary gem, which will have increased damage of your pets by 60%. Your pets take 90% less damage, and you deal 100% increased damage against slowed enemies, or triple this bonus against enemies affected by any other type of control impairing effect. That is also percentages based off of the rank of this person's legendary gem, so there is also that. Keep that in mind for those stats. For the Circle of Evil, we'll just call it for right now, the critical hit damage, crit hit chance, and intel from our augment. It'll also have cooldown of all skills, and you will also have Scythe's Stone of Vengeance in your socket. Moving on, for our boots, we will have Ice Climbers, which will have intel, armor, damage from cold attacks, resist all elements, and skeletal mage damage. Now, the skeletal mage damage is one of the primary stats you will be looking for on this, and you also will need to augment this for intelligence. For our pants, we'll have Hexing Pants of Mr. Yan, intelligence, vitality, armor, and for the sockets, you will have 2 topaz in there. Now, this is rerolled for vitality, so looking for health on that item. Moving on to the belt, we'll have Dainty's Binding, which will have intel, vitality, armor, life per second, and then the gold for monsters is not anything necessary. They did reroll for the armor, which that can max out at a 500, and then again, you'll need to augment this. So as of right now, Necromancer could push a lot further than it already has, but as it stands, a lot of this person's stuff is not augmented, so that is a big loss of damage right there that they could be getting. So that's a little pointer there for if you're doing this build, get your stuff augmented as soon as possible. Moving on, for our cubed items, we'll be looking for Relina's Shadowhook, Tasker and Theo, and Haunted Visions. Now, as I like to point out, as always, you can swap these out for any item that is in the cube to the equipped slot for said item. So our Haunted Vision, which is our offhand, Tasker and Theo, which I believe is the Gauntlets, and Relina's Shadowhook as our weapon. So whichever one of those you get the better version of, you'll want to equip and then put the opposite into your cube, because the cubed item gets a default maxed effect. So equip whichever one you get a ancient or a primal or better statted version of first. Moving on, for our skills. Activated skills are Land of the Dead with Frozen Lands, Simacrolum with Reservoir, Devour with Satiated, Bone Armor with Dislocation, Decrepify with Dizzying Curse, and Skeletal Mage with Singularity. And as for our passives, we're looking for Life from Death, Overwhelming Essence, Spreading Malediction, and Blood is Power. I might have butchered the pronunciation of that one, but as you guys can see on screen, these are the passives you're looking for, as well as the skills. If you guys have any questions about anything on this build, please leave a comment below, and I will do my best to answer those for you, and try to explain how the build runs to the best of my abilities. If you guys like this video, or if it helped you out, hit the like button, subscribe for future updates. I'll be doing these regularly and keeping you guys updated throughout the seasons. And as far as that goes, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.